So I had somebody ask me this question, whether or not they had to be tense in order to be in good posture. And I thought that was an excellent question. So I wanted to make sure and answer that just in case anybody else might have the same question. Welcome back, Posture Bosses. And for you first timers, welcome. My name is Ashley Osier and I'm the posture specialist. If you are interested in improving your posture, decreasing pain, and enhancing your overall wellness, make sure to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss anything. All the videos that I want you guys to see will either stream them across here or I'll have them at the end. I'll also list them out in the Dropbox down below. Before we get to answering the first question, I have another question that's related that I think is also pretty important to know. And that question is, what is the difference between having tense muscles versus having contracted muscles? And I'm going to be answering that at the end, so make sure to stick around. So let's take a look at this spine. So the spine itself has 4 curves. We've got the sacrum, that has a curve there, like this. We have the lumbar spine, which kind of curves this way. Okay, we call that a lordosis. And then we have the thoracic spine that kind of curves this way, right? So that's the kyphosis. And then we have another lordotic area. This is the cervical spine, okay? So the spine has these natural curves in it. Straight on the spine is supposed to be straight. In order to get the spine straight, if your spine isn't straight, we need to engage certain muscles in order to get the spine back to where it was naturally. Now, not just the spine, but we also have the shoulders and we have the legs. That means if you have a shoulder that's lifted and a shoulder that's rotated forward, you're going to have to engage those muscles to correct that postural discrepancy. Now remember, postural discrepancies are any part of your structure that is deviated from how it's supposed to be normally. Some people will be able to make corrections on those deviations, on those postural discrepancies. Some people who have really severe deviations from the norm take a long time to really make corrections. In their small adaptations or the micro adaptations that I talk about in my other videos. And those micro adaptations then become micro corrections. And then you're going to make more adaptations and then more corrections, and then you'll be continuing just to build on a new platform. Similarly, we need to engage the core abdominal muscles because that helps to stabilize the spine, right? It helps to stabilize the whole core center. But we're not tensing the muscles, right? We're contracting the muscles. We're engaging the muscles, we're contracting the muscles, but we're not necessarily tense, right? We're not necessarily walking around tense. So we want to intentionally engage and contract those muscles through corrective posture programming with the right exercises for your body, for your postural discrepancies, which will be different for everybody. And that is going to require us to contract those muscles. Now you may feel tense because you're having to hold that engagement for an extended period of time, similarly to braces. But the benefits of holding that contraction, holding the engagement of those muscles, correcting those discrepancies, is going to be long-term strengthening, long-term stabilization, long-term opening and having space in between the vertebrae, and practice that 3-lock mountain intentionally so that the nerves that are going out on either side of the spine don't get impinged. We want the discs that are floating in between the vertebrae, we want those to stay nice and plump, right? We don't want them to get squashed and dried out, which comes naturally with age. It's going to come naturally with age, but doesn't have to be the whole spine. And with practicing that 3-lock mountain intentionally, you will be making micro adaptations, micro corrections, and long-term structural success, okay, for your body, and long-term fitness for yourself, and your aging is going to be so much better. I promise your life will change when you practice your postural work correctly. So, do we need to tense? I've been talking to you about engagement, contracting the muscles, staying in that 3-lock mountain, making your postural corrections for your postural discrepancies, the requirement of the engagement of those muscles for an extended period of time. And when you're doing that, you are going to feel like you're contracting your muscles, you know, and you're going to have to learn how to walk while you are contracting those muscles, right? So you are going to feel a little awkward, but does that mean that you're tense? Let's take a look at the difference between tense and contracted and engaged. So if you're tensing your muscles, you know, you're tense and you're probably holding your breath and you're kind of anxious. Tense muscles usually have an associated stressor attached to it. They both can have pain and soreness, but the tense muscles will often have, you know, some kind of stress or anxiety that's connected to it. Symptoms related to tensing muscles might include, you know, pain, or like a headache, or like a burning, or you might have a really hard time sleeping, or you're just tight. You feel like you're in a brace kind of thing because you're just so tense, right? But really connected to some kind of a stressor of some sort. But that's completely opposite from what corrective posture programming is. Corrective posture programming is just engaging those muscles and holding it, but then relaxing into it. So you want to make sure that you're doing that extra step. You want to make sure that you are relaxing after you engage all the required muscles for your postural discrepancies, and then practice moving in your life and your function and your daily activities, your activities of daily living, and move in that way. So if you're working out and you're doing a bicep curl, you're contracting the muscles, but you're not tense. You can be relaxed, but really engaged at the same time. So you want to focus on the exercise aspect of corrective posture programming instead of like putting some kind of a stressor attachment to it. Does that make sense? There is a big difference between tensing and contracting. If you want to learn more about how stress impacts our posture and ways that you can counter that so that you can maintain good posture, you can check out this video up here. Okay, so it does take work. It does take getting used to, because you are probably not used to having good posture. So that is the answer to that question. No, you don't have to tense. Yes, you do need to engage in order to make the corrections that you need to make, and in order to have good posture. If you have postural discrepancies that are keeping you from having good posture, then you're going to have to engage those muscles in order to get your spine and your structure to where it needs to be in good posture. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, for giving me a thumbs up, for sharing with your friends and your family. Spread the word about my YouTube channel so that other people can benefit from it as well. Follow me on Instagram at The Posture Specialist. Make sure to leave me a comment if you have questions. If you wanted to reach out to me, you can check out my contact information below in the Dropbox. And I will also have video links in there that I think will be useful for you to continue your corrective posture programming. So until next time, happy posturing.